Hey guys, it's Mr. Calderon with Queen My Pawn, coming at you with another game analysis video. I got a message from Flip the Monkey who asks, "Here's my game, could you please analyze it if you're still doing your free analysis? Thank you." Yes, I am still doing my free analysis, and I'll be doing my free analysis for a while. Basically, you send me one game of a rapid or classical game that you played, no blitz or bullet, and I will analyze it for free in a 10-minute video. If you want to analyze more games, like, you can send me a collection of 3 games, and for $10 I'll analyze it more in depth and show you exactly what patterns you are doing that you should eliminate or fortify. So let's get to it. Flip the Monkey is going to be white in this game, so let's take a look at what the position yielded. E4, D5, Scandinavian defense. He takes C5, bust, knight f6, knight f3. That's alright, but normally the main line is D4. So after knight takes D4, you have C4. And you have control of the middle and you have some initiative. It's definitely sharper. Knight f3 leads to a lot of draws. After knight f6, this is very drawn. So knight takes d5, and I say it's drawn because there are still 2 center pawns. White does have the initiative, but you basically gave black what he wanted for free. Bishop c4, not bad, you're developing a piece. Knight c6, well, normally the pawn goes to c6, so e6 was preferable. Castles, knight to b4. Bishop g4 is definitely the move here, and that pin is kind of annoying. So before you castle, you should play h3, preventing the bishop from going there. But knight to b4, you have d4 and c3, and then the knight's got to go back. So a3 makes no sense because you're helping the knight go where he wants to on d5. But even though it just came from there. But look, you use that misplaced knight time to push d4, push your bishop to f4, play c3, play knight bd2, or if you don't, yeah, you should play c3. And I see nothing wrong with the position. Like, the point of this is to get your position more and more better, to improve your position. But a3 doesn't improve your position like it should, and that's terrible. Knight to a6. This is an attack on the flank, which doesn't make sense when the center is open. You need to play rook e1, d4. You can still play c3, even though it's kind of weird with the a3 pawn there. And you need to play bishop f4. You need to bring out your pieces. Like I made it in the last video, the topic was help your pieces out so they help you. This is exactly what needs to happen. But this is not helping your pieces out. Sure, you have a fianchetto here, and you can bring your bishop there, but it's more direct to control the center with rook e1, d4. You could probably play d4 first, and that will also not only just control the center, but it will bring out your bishop to f4, and then rook e1, queen e2, after c3, so that you don't drop this, etc. You play b4. And that makes no sense because now you can bring out the bishop here, right? Which is what you did. Good job. So he took, that brings out another piece. Right now you have 3 pieces out and he only has 1, and that's misplaced. So you basically have 3.5 pieces out and you're attacking f7. So I would say that you have a strong game here. In fact, the engine says that you are 6.8 right now. That means that you cannot lose a position like this. So he played e6, d3, and it doesn't like this move. The reason why is because when you take over here, he has to take back, and then you take the rook. So that's the point, is that the queen is attacking the rook, and you're attacking f7 at the same time. I did a similar tactic in one of my games. Let me briefly show you without moving myself. So I'll pull up the game and in this position. Yes. So let's go right here. Okay. So this happened in my game, and I saw that if I can place the knight over here, I could win the queen quite easily. But I don't see that I can clear the rook right away. Like I can't just do this, for example, or that. But I do see that I could threaten checkmate. At first, I thought I could do knight to f3 and knight to g5, but knight to f3 isn't forcing, so I knew that I had to cut that out. But if I move queen to h4, I'm forcing him to defend against checkmate. At the same time, this knight is undefended. So I attack him, and this is a fork, right? That's how forks are created. Just like in your game, you're creating a threat first, and then you're taking advantage of the fact that there's a pin. Right now I'm taking advantage of the threat and the fact that this knight is undefended. It's always something else. So he goes rook to f7, but now I can do clearance. This is quite the forced clearance. Now I did have a better move in queen f6, but I didn't see it. I just wanted the queen, so I went there. He could have played knight to g8, but I'm at least winning the exchange here, and then I'm checkmating. So, or even there. So everything's really bad. You see how all the arrows are converging onto the king. So he had to play rook to g8, but then I check him, and I get my thing done, and the rest is history. So back to your game. Basically, you gotta follow through on the threats. You gotta keep attacking one threat after another. So d3, he moves the rook because now there's no threat. Knight to d2, bring out another piece. b6, even though it does weaken the knight, he's trying to develop another piece, the bishop. Rook fe1, bishop e7, queen to g3. Now here the queen's misplaced. You can at least go over here. You're threatening rook to e6 because the pawn is pinned. That's illegal. So that would have been better. Look, your strength is on the light squares because his weakness is on the light squares, so your strength has to be on the light squares. So you go to the dark squares, which doesn't make sense. He could have never moved this bishop because this bishop on b2 was already attacking it. So you need to get a grip on the light squares, right? If he plays, for example, g6, I'm thinking that maybe you could move your queen maybe back to e5. You have a strong centralized position, and then you're playing knight to e4 and knight to f6. Alright, let's go back to the actual game. Queen to g3. c5, which is opening up the game to his disadvantage because his king is still in the middle. Automatically I bishop e5 here, which you did. King e7. This is an interesting position to analyze. One way I could immediately improve my position is playing something like bishop to e5. It gives it as dubious, but the engine says 6.5, so I don't see what's so dubious about it. Which is what you played in the game very good. You centralize your bishop. It likes this move, but don't worry about missing that. This is not a bad move. Rook to c8. No, you don't need to do that. Like, no one's forcing you to move the bishop back here. You need to now focus on bringing out one of your pieces. Let's see, this knight needs to get in the game. This rook definitely needs to get in the game. Let's play something like... I'm considering between rook e2 and rook to e3, and I think this is safer. Now we have rook fe1 bringing out a new piece. You need to focus on bringing out your pieces. Right, you're bringing out your pieces. But in this position, I could play something like this, no? So, there you go. You're forcing the king out somewhere. No, that doesn't make sense because your bishop is keeping the grip on the escape, and so is this bishop. You cannot trade that bishop. That makes zero positional sense. I would immediately play something like this. You cannot take the bishop, because then you take. This bishop is pinned. So, bishop takes, rook takes, king takes. I mean, queen takes. Now the thing is, he could move something like over here. Of course, he is still not in a good way, but you gotta activate your pieces and crush him totally. So he ran towards the queen side. You played this move. Again, you need to bring out your pieces. Also, you need to be careful because this is becoming a threat. So yeah, you need to do this so that you can get the queen out of this dangerous diagonal. Where's it gonna go? Nowhere. This queen needs to get out of there. That's the point of my move, rook e5. You need to get the queen out of there. So you played queen to g3. He went there. You took. He took back. I would say you're winning here. You open up the file. He takes. You take. He takes. You can do a lot of dangerous stuff here. That's not a good move because he can block with the rook. I would have definitely considered taking this pawn because now you're threatening checkmate. Well, not checkmate, but you're threatening to probe and just get in there. That doesn't make any sense. The problem with this move is something like this. Actually, no. Hold on. The problem with this move, because it's interesting, but why can't I just do this now? If you take, I go back here and look at that, the position is equal. Yikes. So the problem was you need to use everything that you've got, okay? You need to get the pieces back in there. You got distracted by the queen. Because of that, you lost the fact that he could just block with the rook. Let's see how he won the game since we're out of time. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he made a mistake, but he could have drawn the game.